All right, good morning. Thank you for being with us here on our daily Facebook live stream this morning. We'll be hearing from Dr. Bob Lutz with the Spokane Regional Health District. He'll have an update on COVID-19 and the response here locally. We'll also have Adam Swinyard with the Spokane Public Schools and Marla Nunberg with the Central Valley School District. They'll be discussing how the districts are assisting students as they learn from home, childcare, and also meal distribution. But right now, we're going to begin with Dr. Lutz. Dr. Lutz.
Well, good morning. Certainly the last week has been one where we have seen a significant increase in the number of individuals who have been both diagnosed and hospitalized with COVID-19. To some degree, this reflects the fact that we are doing more testing, but I think it is important for people to realize that COVID-19 is here, it's been here, and it will be here for a while. So I think the message that Governor Inslee shared with us last week about staying healthy and staying home is one that I cannot emphasize enough going forward. I know people want to know how many individuals have been diagnosed, and I can tell you that we think, and I say think right now because there has been a little bit of difficulty from the technical side, but maybe about 136. And so just reflect upon the fact that this time last week, I had significantly fewer patients. We've also had probably 22 individuals who have been hospitalized, and unfortunately 4 people have died from COVID-19. So again, this message that I continue to share with people is that COVID-19 is here. It's going to be with us for a while, and I think we need to prepare for that. I was on a call yesterday with the governor, with other local electeds across the state, as well as other public health officials. And the message that he really wanted us to emphasize was just that: stay home, stay healthy, and save lives. And when we talk about staying home, we really want to emphasize it's that immediate family. It's not your extended family. It's not your grandparents, and it's not commingling with other family members who you may not have seen. It really is your immediate family. And so stay healthy, stay home, and save lives.
Good morning, my name is Adam Swinyard. I work for the Spokane Public School District as the Associate Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. I'd just like to start by expressing my gratitude to the support and the collaboration across the community to help support our children and our family during this very challenging and stressful time. In the wake of this crisis, it reflects what's great about Spokane and what makes our community so special is our ability to come together in a challenging time. We've been working very hard with our staff and with our community partners to make sure we're providing support for students in the wake of this school closure. We are currently providing childcare services to first responders. We have 3 sites that are up and running with approximately 75 students total being served. We are working very hard to practice social distancing to keep those students safe, checking their temperature as they come in, watching them very closely, being very mindful of providing that support in a thoughtful way, but doing everything we can to support our first responders and those in the medical community that are supporting those impacted directly by the COVID virus. We're also working very hard to provide meal distribution to our students. As the community is aware, our schools are a critical part of nutrition service to students on a daily basis across the course of the school year. Our students rely on our ability to provide them both breakfast and lunch. So this has clearly been a significant impact to those students and families. We are serving meals at 24 locations. Students can come from the hours of 11 noon to pick those up. And we are starting a program today that will distribute meals via our transportation system. So we're fortunate with our transportation and our bus services, that we're able to provide some mobility to those delivery of services for students that may have a difficult time making it to one of our 24 distribution sites. Would like to particularly express our thanks to groups such as Bite to Go, Second Harvest, that have come alongside and collaborated with us to identify ways that we can extend and enhance the nutrition that students have relied on, as well as the 100 of nutrition service workers in Spokane Public Schools that are continuing to work to make sure students are fed and are well. In terms of educational services, this is obviously a significant shift to what our students are accustomed to. First and foremost, our teachers are one of the key loving adults in our students' life that provide a significant amount of stability and care for them. Being disconnected to them is stressful, and for many are traumatic. And so just would like to extend any encouragement to be reaching out virtually, making phone calls to students in your world to lend them encouragement and support as their lives have been disrupted. Particularly, students are impacted by any change in schedule. This is obviously a significant alteration to their routine, and particularly our students who live in poverty and are adversely impacted by trauma. We know that these types of circumstances are most impactful to our families and communities that are most vulnerable, and this is certainly the case that we're dealing with today. Our teachers are doing an incredible job doing everything they can to provide some continuity of learning for students while they're at home. We're very fortunate in Spokane Public Schools to have a very strong foundation of digital tools and digital resources and curriculum that students are able to access. Prior to the closure of schools, we worked as diligently as we could to provide some print materials to students. As the governor's stay-at-home order transcends over the coming days, print materials begin to become a challenge as students work through those materials, and our reliance on a virtual learning experience will continue to increase. One of the challenges that we have worked through over the last several weeks is making sure that kids have equitable access to technology. So we have started a laptop distribution program that students can check out. We've received approximately 4,000 requests and have checked out nearly 3,500 laptops to students to make sure they have access. We're also working with families who may not have access to the internet. I want to thank community partners such as Comcast that have provided options for families who may not otherwise have the opportunity to have access to internet to be able to connect those devices and be able to continue their learning and connect with teachers. We've also deployed some Wi-Fi extenders on several of our buildings to provide students that could come into our parking lots, and just working to provide a variety of different options to make sure kids can stay connected to school. The experience that students will have in their learning will vary by grade level and course of study. It's going to look different for a kindergartner than it is for a high school AP student. And we recognize that, and our teachers are working very hard to make thoughtful decisions to keep students learning, maintain that personal connection with them, and continue the opportunity for them to be prepared when school does return so that they can be best prepared as possible to move forward in their studies. So again, just would like to extend my gratitude and appreciation on behalf of the school district for all of our community partners. Those in government and city agencies have come alongside us and have really reflected the partnerships that can shine even in the wake of a crisis such as this. So thank you, and I'd like to now turn it over to our counterpart in the Central Valley School District.
Hello there. I'm Marlon Enberg. I'm the Director of Communications with Central Valley School District. I'd like to give you an update of what our school district has been doing since our schools have been closed. Our schools may be closed, but we've been busy as a district supporting our students and our community. Soon after announcing school closures, our governor and superintendent of public instruction issued a set of priorities for school districts. These align strongly with our CVSD priorities, and we began to carry them out quickly with the care and compassion that we are known for in our community. First was to do our part in slowing the spread of COVID-19. We closed our schools and limited access to our buildings. Our custodial staff continue working tirelessly behind the scenes to thoroughly clean our buildings, especially those that are distributing meals and doing the child care. Our bus drivers continue to carefully disinfect our buses for use for our food distribution. Our second priority was to provide much-needed meals for our kids as soon as possible. We know this is a necessary staple in many of our students' lives. When school is closed, their hunger does not take a time out. Thanks to the pre-planning of our Nutrition Services Department, we launched this program at 11 sites, only one day after our schools closed. You can find these sites on our website at cvsd.org. Our bus drivers and assistants provide a consistent and familiar-friendly face at these sites. We've heard feedback from many parents how excited their children were for that familiarity in these uncertain times. Our team has served over 19,000 meals in that first 4-day week. Last week, we expanded to 15 sites in our district, and we offered 26,000 meals to our kids. Additionally, we are proud in the second week of closures to work with Spokane Valley Partners Food Bank and Family Services to bring back our Food for Thought program, serving 500 meals to the students that need them at home for the weekend. In Spokane County, 1 in 5 children live in food insecure homes. This is only compounded with the unpredictable state in which we find ourselves. In addition to the Spokane Valley Partners volunteers, SDCU and the Spokane Valley Church of Nazarene helped us deliver these meals out to our families' doorsteps. Our community partners, neighbors, and friends all come together in this time of need. Our next priority was to create the last resort childcare for our healthcare workers, first responders, and now our grocery store workers as well. We need to rely on our friends and neighbors who work in these fields to keep us cared for and safe. In order to keep them at work, we are offering this critical service for our kindergarten through 5th grade children. Our paraeducators and classified nurses stepped up to provide this invaluable service at some of our schools. After we were able to meet our community's health, safety, and basic needs, our attention was on the academic engagement with our students. Our 2020 high school seniors are a huge priority. We work with them on their credit requirements. Our high school counselors are getting them to the graduation and life beyond high school. We know this is not just an academic shift, it is also a cultural shift, and we will make this the best experience we can for those seniors. We cannot replace the valuable work that happens inside of the classroom, but we can provide learning to our students in a way that's never been done before. We promise to provide this with the same caring commitment that we bring to Central Valley every day. To assist with this, we facilitated getting 3,600 Chromebooks and iPads out into the hands of our students that need them for their learning at home. Last week, our teachers began posting authentic academic engagement opportunities to their Google Classrooms, Seesaw, and ClassDojo sites. Just like normal school experiences, teachers may use varied learning activities by the grade level and the courses that they are teaching. Our teachers design these activities with reliable ways for students to engage with academics, and most importantly, their teacher. Our teachers, we know how important the relationship with our teachers is with our students, and we are committed to maintain these connections. Our teachers were so excited to connect with their students and launch this new phase of learning with their professional talents. We remain dedicated to providing the supports for these continuous learning opportunities. We still have the same care for each student, just delivered in a different way. We value this opportunity to serve our community, and we certainly do not take any of these responsibilities lightly. We sincerely appreciate our parents' commitment and patience as we work through this ever-changing situation together. Now, more than ever, we're committed to stay connected to our parents, our students, and our community. Our students are the center of our focus. Our neighboring school districts are doing much of the same work in their own communities. Our communities are truly known by the schools we keep. We all miss seeing our students. They are our foundation. Nevertheless, we are finding innovative ways, just like you, to connect. We are all in this together, and together we are better, even though we are apart. Together we will get through this because we're inland strong. Thank you.
This question will likely be for both Marla and Adam. We're getting questions and requests for clarification around how to obtain a Chromebook and how to obtain Wi-Fi services if needed. Could you provide a little bit more perspective on those families that may need the actual hardware and ability to get connected with their curriculum?
So Spokane Public Schools families that are in need of a laptop can go to our website and complete an online form that indicates the number of devices that they need, the number of students in their household, and whether or not they need additional support with internet access. There's also a toll-free number that they can call into if they don't have internet access at home to submit their request. So they have a couple of different options to get that information to us. And then we have ongoing checkout and distribution spots throughout the city for them to come and acquire those laptops.
And for our Chromebooks and iPads, we are actually doing that directly through our schools. We've had several different times that have been put out direct messages from our schools. So if somebody is still in need of that, if they would contact their school principal, they will make sure to get them that Chromebook or that iPad delivered directly to their home at this time. We also have, as he mentioned earlier, some of the free wireless services that are all listed on our cbsd.org website.
Another question we have is going to be for both representatives from the school districts. We've got a couple of questions asking why certain areas were deemed distribution sites for the schools and what went into that decision.
So we currently have 24 distribution sites located throughout the city. Those were distributed for ease of access for families, targeting areas of the city where we think the level of need might be the most significant, and also in a way for us to efficiently deploy those nutrition services based on our warehouse and prepping sites. So there was a variety of factors that went into determining those sites in order to make sure that we could maintain continuity of services and ensure that we could have supplies to meet the demand of students as they began receiving those meals the day after school was closed.
And it's similar for us as well. It's based on where the highest needs are throughout our district, and we increase those so that we would have easier access for those families so they wouldn't have to travel as far. It's also helpful to note with Spokane Transit with their free rides too, that if you're unable to get to a site on foot or on car, that you have that ability as well.
And we have one final question for Adam, a question about the program that's beginning today involving the distribution of meals by your district.
So we are utilizing our bus system and our bus drivers to distribute meals to students that are in need across the city. There's an interactive map on our district's website to get more information for families that are interested in accessing that option. And again, we're just looking to expand and support students to make sure that they're able to get the meals that they need, and providing this additional level of service we believe is going to be an important step. Students are in a variety of different places, and the trauma from financial insecurity and food insecurity is likely going to increase as this closure and the stay-at-home order moves on, and it's likely that the level of need in our community is going to increase substantially. Another thing that I would just mention really briefly, if any of our families are struggling, please don't hesitate to reach out to your school counselor or to your principal. Or if you have a friend or a neighbor that you're concerned about, this is a critical time to, if you are concerned or have a wondering, to be reaching out and connecting people to supports and services. The stress and trauma that families are incurring, incidences of domestic violence, those are all challenges that we're going to continue to face as this wanes on, and the challenges of having routines disrupted and having everybody in the home, and the stress of financial insecurity, food insecurity. So just in addition to the meals, would just encourage everyone in the community to be thoughtful and not to hesitate to reach out if there's someone that you're concerned about.
We'd like to thank all of our speakers for being here with us this morning. And of course, thank you for being with us on Facebook. We'll be right back here again tomorrow morning at 10.